Pragmatically, Owen, but a good thing or primarily a bad thing? Is it possible to say
Primarily a
one or
bad
the
thing. I
other?
mean, there's so much to be proud of in our great history. The people who fought for the rights and freedoms we have today. You know, there's a film at the moment about the suffragettes. You know, the people who fought the Nazis. All of that we should be proud of. Invading and subjugating other countries is not one of them. And I think of, you know, Ireland, the potato famine, which was exacerbated by the British exporting food while people were dying. That's what happened in India. You know, there was a book called Late Victorian Holocaust, which looked at the possibly tens of millions of Indians who died in a crime on the scale of what happened under Chairman Mao in China, for example, where the last famine that took place was in 1943, the Bengal famine, when the Brits exported food whilst people were dying. And I think of, you know, the Mau uprising in Kenya in the 1950s. Do you know who one of the leading spokespeople...
You're just falling into the trap that I said people shouldn't fall into. If you just look at all the bad things, and I completely agree, all of those were very bad things, but you look at the fact that we introduced parliamentary democracy to a lot of countries, the sort of civil service system of government, which all of these countries, or a lot of these countries, are still using today. They've stood the test of time.
Well, actually, the point I'm making is this grievously outweighs the deaths of so many people. I mean, India, when it was invaded, had a standard of living comparable to the standard of living of people in this country, and that was drastically declined relative compared to what happened in Britain. In terms of democracy, well, lots of places which were invaded, not just by Britain, but by other European countries, the legacy of that are wars and conflicts because of policies of divide and rule, which were pursued. And I think the Mau uprising example I was going to give, because weirdly, Enoch Powell was one of the leading spokespeople against what the Britain did in Kenya, putting people in camps. We did it in South Africa, the Boer War, some of the first concentration camps used. These are things we don't... just last...
Although there has been recognition, hasn't there, of the Mau Mau uprising, in fact, tens of thousands died and some compensation
just very quickly on
detained.
That, but we don't... What's interesting is, as a country, I don't think we've come to terms with it because we don't discuss it and we don't talk about it in school.